You can cross oceans, change your name, don new identities like silken robes, or build an empire of achievements brick by brick. But if your body keeps repeating old vibrations, you are not truly free. Beneath the theater of external changes, new cities, new friends, new stories, there lingers a subtler, silent architecture shaped by the living codes of ancestry and experience. This architecture is woven into the body in the slow coil of the sacrum, the silent clamp of the jaw, the hesitant flutter of the diaphragm. It is here in these thresholds that the soul's freedom is either bound or liberated. This is not an illusion easily dispelled by logic or effort. The body is not a prison, and nor is it a cage. Rather, it is a temple living and luminous, built with the resonance of every breath, every inherited memory, every secret desire to come home. And yet, how often do we try to flee this temple? How often do we mistake external movement for true liberation when the real work is an inner restoration, a gentle tuning of the soul's frequency? The Hermetic sages of old whispered, "As above, so below, as within, so without." The kybalion describes the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, the law of polarity. Every reality, every feeling, every stuckness in the body is a result of a harmonic alignment or misalignment within the vibrational field. Modern science, too, quietly agrees. Epigenetics reveals how ancestral traumas pass through the river of DNA, encoding survival into muscle and marrow. Neurocardiology finds that the heart is a second brain holding silent memories vibrating in subtle synchrony with the nervous system. Bessel van der Kolk writes, "The body keeps the score. It is not only the witness to trauma, but the very field where trauma is played, replayed, and ultimately released." We awaken when we realize the true journey is not outward, but inward through portals of presence. These are the living gateways within us, thresholds into a deeper reality, places where vibrational codes can be rewritten and ancient signatures dissolved. The sacrum at the root of the spine holds the ancestral story, the tailbone's gentle weight, the place of both grounding and flight. The jaw-silent sentinel at the gate of speech and truth clenches with unsaid words, unexpressed grief. The diaphragm, veiled between heart and gut, trembles with the breath we do not take the sighs we have yet to release. To cross the ocean of the self, we must enter these portals, not to escape, but to remember to restore the harmony that is our birthright. The world outside may roar for change, but it is in the silent reclamation of the body's frequency that the soul truly returns home. So pause. Sense the gentle pulse at the base of your spine, the quiet tension in your jaw, the rhythm of your breath. These are not barriers, but doorways. You stand at the threshold of your own liberation, not with force or resistance, but with a listening presence, a willingness to feel the living architecture within. Ask yourself, where in my body do I still seek permission to be free? What ancient code is asking to be rewritten, not through effort, but through silent vibrational presence? To remember the living codes is not simply to recall a story from long ago, but to awaken to the silent language that the body speaks the song, humming beneath awareness, shaping every choice and sensation. The Hermetic masters knew that all things are alive, vibrating, resonating in an invisible dance. The body, too, is a cipher inscribed with the frequencies of countless ancestors, a tapestry of inherited rhythms, hope's wounds, and forgotten strengths. This is the wisdom encoded in our bones, in the soft fascia that swaddles every organ in the shimmering pulse of every cell. Modern science now touches the edge of this ancient knowing. Epigenetics reveals how experience imprints itself upon our DNA, marking some genes to whisper, others to shout. Trauma does not simply vanish with time. It is woven into our flesh, hidden in the way we sit, stand, breathe, love. The body is not just a vessel, but a living archive storing the signatures of fear, longing, and resilience. These signatures are like vibrational codes, some inherited, others learned, all awaiting recognition and transformation. Imagine your body as a house with many rooms. Some are bright and familiar, while others are dim with the dust of old stories, rooms you rarely enter yet, which shape the way you move through your life. The sacrum, that ancient hinge at the base of your spine, is one such room, the ancestral seat, the doorway where Earth's gravity meets the soul's longing to rise. The jaw, another chamber, is both gate and guardian, clamped against words unsaid, protecting secrets never shared. The diaphragm, veiled and tender, is a hidden corridor between heart and belly, tight with every breath, withheld every grief unexpressed. Hermetic wisdom teaches that to change one thing, you must change its vibration. The law of correspondence whispers, as within, so without. When you shift the inner code, when you invite your body to remember a freer, more harmonious vibration, you open a portal, not only for yourself, but for the generations before and after you. Every movement, every breath, every act of presence is a living act of alchemy. There is a subtle magic in this. The observer effect in quantum science teaches that what we witness, we change. By observing our inner landscape with gentle, non-judging attention, we alter its frequency. When you turn toward the sacrum with loving awareness, you become both the healer and the healed. When you meet the jaw's tension with compassion, you invite release. When you offer the diaphragm spaciousness, you make way for a new rhythm, a softer, truer breath. Let yourself feel, just for a moment, the ancientness within you. Sense the echoes of those who came before, those whose stories live in your posture, your heartbeat, your patterns of response. Notice how your body wants to move, where it holds tight, where it yearns to open. This is the living code, the portal, waiting for your attention. Pause and ask, what signature am I carrying that is not truly mine? Where does my body repeat a rhythm that longs to be released? Can I be the gentle observer, the alchemist of my own living architecture, and allow these codes to shift in this sanctuary of remembrance where the living codes of body and soul converge? There come moments of opening portals that wait silently until we choose to turn the key of presence. Here, practical magic takes form, not in grand gestures, but in the humble, attentive activation of the body's hidden pillars, sacrum, jaw, diaphragm. These are the silent arches of the soul's temple, holding both the stories of what has been and the possibilities of what may yet become. The sacrum at the root is more than bone. It is the earth's embrace within your form, a living altar where ancestral frequencies settle. To bring vibrational movement to the sacrum is to stir the coiled wisdom resting there, to awaken the primal pulse that connects you to every mother and father, every lineage stretching back through time. Sit quietly. Let your attention flow to the base of your spine. Begin with a soft rocking, a gentle circular motion, barely perceptible, as if you are listening with your whole being for the original pulse beneath the stories. Feel how even a subtle movement here ripples upward, sending tremors through your entire architecture. This is not exercise, but a return, an invitation for the sacrum to reveal what it holds, to release what no longer serves, to become a living portal once more. The jaw, that silent guardian at the gate of truth, holds within it the vibrational echoes of all that was not spoken, all that was swallowed for safety or peace. The Hermetic law of polarity teaches that every tension contains its release, every silence its own possibility of song. Bring your awareness to your jaw now. Notice the ways it tenses or withdraws. With the gentlest intent, let your mouth open softly on an exhale, allowing your jaw to hang loose. Imagine it melting downward as if gravity were drawing out the words and cries and laughter that your ancestors stored. Experiment with tiny side-to-side movements, letting your lower jaw sway. You might hum gently, feeling the vibrations through bone and tissue. These vibrations are codes unlocking and rebalancing the frequencies within you. Trust that each micro movement here is an act of permission, a soft rewriting of inherited patterns. The diaphragm, veiled and powerful, lies between the worlds of heart and belly, between conscious will and instinctual knowing. It is both threshold and bridge, shaping the breath that is the soul's first and last companion. To invite vibrational movement into the diaphragm, place your hands on your lower ribs. Breathe in slowly, feeling your belly expand. And as you exhale, allow your ribs to sink. On the next breath, gently pulse your breath out as if blowing out a candle in small, soft bursts. Sense how your diaphragm shivers with each pulse, a subtle quiver that loosens old stagnations. This movement, too, is a portal, each trembling wave a message to your nervous system, reminding it that it is safe to breathe safe, to let go, safe to take up space. All three pillars, sacrum, jaw, diaphragm, form a living triangle, a geometric temple in which the soul's sovereignty is reclaimed. Their alignment tunes the entire system, shifting the frequencies of old harm into new harmonies. Hermetic wisdom tells us that rhythm is the heartbeat of transformation. Every gentle movement, every conscious breath is an act of rhythm restoring itself within the body's architecture. There is no rush, no pressure, only the invitation to feel, to sense, to listen deeply. These movements are not tasks, but acts of presence, reminders that the soul's freedom is found not in escape, but in inhabiting the very ground of your being. Gently ask yourself, now can I allow these three portals to open in their own time with my quiet attention? What might become possible if I meet my body's architecture with this depth of presence and patience? There is a quiet beauty in the stories that unfold not in words, but in the shifting tides of sensation and the silent realignment of the soul's architecture. Consider Hannah, a seeker like so many who yearned to free herself from an invisible inheritance. She had crossed many oceans in the outward sense, moved to new countries, changed professions, traded identities like old garments. Yet within her body, a persistent ache echoed a sense of being bound by something older and deeper than any single event. It was as if her sacrum carried a weight beyond her own lifetime. Her jaw clamped shut against truths unnamed, her breath forever skimming the surface of true presence. Hannah's journey began not with a dramatic crisis, but with a whisper, a gentle curiosity that there might be more to liberation than external change. She came to the path of vibrational movement, drawn by a longing to remember to restore harmony within. The teachings she encountered invited her to become an alchemist of her own experience, to honor the wisdom of the Hermetic laws, to feel the vibrational codes alive in her body, and to witness with kindness the living architecture within. At first, the movement seemed simple, almost insignificant. A slow, circular rocking at the sacrum, inviting warmth to the tailbone's root. Moments of letting her jaw unhinge on a sigh, or humming softly until vibration traveled through bone and teeth, breaking open the silence she had worn for years. A few breaths focused at the diaphragm, pulsing, quivering like the wing beats of a butterfly testing the air for the first time. She practiced these movements in the quiet of dawn, in the safe privacy of her room, not expecting miracles, but simply observing what changed. And change came not as a sudden storm, but as a gradual dawn. With each gentle activation, something shifted. The ache in her sacrum lightened, a subtle sense of belonging taking its place. She found herself able to speak truths that had once felt dangerous, her jaw softening, her voice fuller. Her breath deepened her diaphragm, learning to trust the safety of now. Hannah began to notice ripples in her daily life, a calmer response to old triggers, a newfound ease in relationships, a gentle sovereignty emerging from within. It was as if she had discovered a secret portal, a silent liberation available only to those who dared to enter their own depths. Her experience was more than anecdote. It echoed what science is beginning to map: Bessel van der Kolk speaks of how the body stores trauma as a somatic memory and how gentle movement and presence can rewrite these codes. The HeartMath Institute reveals how coherence between heart, mind, and body creates new signatures of well-being, shifting both biology and destiny. Hannah's living architecture was being rebuilt not by willpower or analysis, but by resonance, by tuning into frequencies that had always been available, yet long forgotten. What Hannah learned, and what she offers through her story, is not a formula, but an invitation. Liberation is not earned or achieved. It is remembered and reclaimed through presence vibration and the gentle curiosity to witness one's own inner architecture. The Hermetic principle of mentalism teaches that the universe is mind, that all transformation begins in the field of awareness. Hannah became the observer of her own life, and through observation, she became the artist of her own healing. You too are invited. There is no single path, only the courage to return again and again to the silent portals within. The sacrum, the jaw, the diaphragm, they are not mere anatomy, but living codes keys to your own temple. With every movement, every breath, you participate in the living alchemy of your own soul's freedom. In this moment, ask yourself, what story might I rewrite, not with words, but with presence? What portals within me are waiting to open silently through the invitation of attention? There comes a threshold in every seeker's journey where the search turns inward, no longer driven by restlessness or escape, but by a soft devotion to presence, the true homecoming. This is the moment you become living alchemy, a conscious participant in the mystery of your own liberation. No longer do you chase freedom as a distant prize, nor do you negotiate with the past like a warden with a captive. Instead, you become the very rhythm that reweaves the codes within you, breath by breath, movement by movement, in the temple of your own body. The Hermetic teachings etched in the emerald tablets, echoed in the kybalion, speak of the law of rhythm. Everything flows in and out, rises and falls, contracts and expands. The body's story is not fixed but rhythmic, written in pulses, pauses, and waves. The sacrum rocks, gently pulsing with ancestral memory. The jaw loosens, releasing the song of truth. The diaphragm quivers, drawing life and spirit together with each breath. These are not just movements. They are portals, living invitations for the soul to return and inhabit its temple with sovereignty. Science, too, meets us at this holy threshold. Neuroplasticity reveals that the brain and body can be rewired not only through thought, but through felt embodied experience. The work of the HeartMath Institute shows us that when the heart's rhythm finds coherence, the nervous system follows a cascade of harmony, unlocking new realities within the flesh. Every gentle rocking of the sacrum, every hum vibrating through the jaw, every trembling pulse of the diaphragm is a silent invocation to the nervous system. You are safe. You are home. You are free to harmonize. Here, ancient wisdom and modern research entwine. And the soul is reminded you are not merely an observer of life, but the creator, the tuning fork, the living code. To be the living alchemy is to accept with tenderness the misalignments that have shaped you, and to gently reclaim your vibrational sovereignty, one presence-filled moment at a time. The outer world may still clamor for achievement, for answers, for transformation measured in visible milestones. But within a subtler, more enduring change unfolds the harmonious integration of body and soul, the silent liberation of the self, a sovereignty rooted in rhythm, vibration, and loving attention. You are invited now to breathe and sense, letting your awareness rest on the sacrum, the jaw, the diaphragm. Allow your body's architecture to hum with possibility. You are the alchemist, the observer, the living architecture in which ancient codes and modern science unite in the gentle miracle of presence. Let this be your silent revolution, not a battle to be won, but a rhythm to be restored. Not a quest for perfection, but a return to wholeness. In this field of presence, you reclaim Not just your story, but your frequency, your sovereignty, your birthright as a living portal of soul and body in harmony. Ask yourself with kindness, can I become the living alchemy today? Can I allow each breath, each small movement, to be a code rewritten in the temple of my own being? You have traveled gently through the living corridors of your own body, the sacrum's quiet pulse, the jaw's long-held silence, the diaphragm's trembling song. In this space between science and spirit, ancient wisdom and modern knowing, you have touched the hidden architecture of your soul's temple. The journey is not one of striving or conquest, but of awakening, remembering that every vibrational code, every portal within, is a silent invitation home. Perhaps you've sensed in these moments of presence a subtle shift, a lessening of old weight, a whisper of new freedom, a warmth rising from within. This is not fantasy, but the lived miracle of being both the observer and the artist of your own healing. You've met the Hermetic laws, not as abstract truths, but as living rhythms within your bones, your breath, your heartbeat. You have witnessed how science and ancient tradition together illuminate the same path. Liberation begins inside, in the silent harmonies you restore each day. So I invite you, let your journey continue, not as a task to finish, but as a living rhythm, a subtle revolution of presence. Share this vibration with someone who may need it. Offer the spaciousness of your own presence to your relationships, to the earth beneath you, to the future within you. Remember, to return home to your body is to reclaim your reality, to rewrite your codes, to awaken as the sovereign architect of your own temple. If this resonance touched you, share your reflections below, subscribe to receive more living wisdom, and let your presence ripple outward. Your liberation is the world's healing. Your silent revolution is the birth of new realities.